Hey guys, so I wanted to show you how to use Asana to track your business because as you start talking to people, you're going to want a system to keep track of them so that you don't get confused and you don't forget to follow up with people. So I'm going to show you the system that I use, and then if this is something that would work for you, awesome. If not, then we'll find you something else. But Asana is super simple to use. It's also free, so that's amazing. And I'm going to show you exactly how to use it. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to asana.com and you're going to log in. You can use your email address. I just linked mine to my Gmail. It makes it a lot easier to set up an account on there. And what you're going to do first, I'm in my personal tasks at the moment because I want to show you a blank Asana so that I can create it for you. But when you do this, you want to make sure that you're using my company's task, and it'll say my company's tasks, and then you can change it to whatever you want. So I have it say sweat your heart out, and that's why I have like all this stuff in here now. But I'm going to show you on my personal. So this is what it's going to look like, but make sure you're using the company one just because you're able to do a couple things with that one that you're unable to do in the personal one. So the first thing you want to do is make two lists. Your first one's going to be follow-up or invites. Your other one's going to be follow-ups. Now to make a project, you're going to click on Create Project. You're going to type whatever you want to call it. So invites, hit Create. And I already created one, but I'll delete the one that I created and we'll start fresh. So we'll delete these two. Delete. Okay, so I just created one that said invites. And then if you want to change the color, you can change it to whatever you want. So maybe I'll do green or that green. And then I'll make another one and I'll call this one follow-ups. And I want to make that one pink. So we click on the three dots, set highlight color, and select pink. Now, there are people that you're going to be talking to are only going to be on one of these two lists. So if you add a new friend on Facebook and you want to add them to your contact list, which is essentially your invite list, you would click Add Task and then put their name. So I'll just put Angie Lee. And then you'll make sure that it's assigned to you. And you're going to pick a due date. So typically what I do 1 week out from when I first started talking to them. So let's say I just added Angie Lee, I started a conversation with her today, then I would click due date and I would click on February 2nd because that is 1 week from today. So what happens is when I go into my Asana and I look at my list on February 2nd, when I go to my tasks, I'll see, okay, you have to invite Angie Lee today. And I'll know to invite her because it says invite. So I'm going to add a couple extra people. Let's say I started a conversation with Sarah. Everyone is just going to be Lee. Sarah Lee. I'm going to follow up with her a week later, and then I'll add another one. Mary Lee. The Lee family, I guess. Another week. And let's say I also talked to Rachel Lee today. And obviously they're not all going to be Lees, but for example's sake. So I've got 4 people in my invite list, so I'm going to go back to my tasks, and you'll see that I have to invite these people. So when it is February 2nd, that's when they're going to pop up on your list. Like you would probably have more things on your list than just these 4. But let's say I invited Rachel. So I sent Rachel an invite on Facebook or Instagram or wherever I connected with her. Then what I would do is I would change this to follow-ups, and now she would appear on the follow-up list, and I would set the date to follow up with her. Let's say I invited her on the 2nd. I would follow up with her on the 4th. I'd give her 2 days to respond, and then I follow up with Mary Lee. So, or I see Mary Lee. I have to invite her, so I would click here, and let's say I invited her. I would set it to the 4th, and I would put her on my follow-up list. Now, since I invited Rachel and Mary already, they're always going to stay on my follow-up list until they sign up. So they're never going to go back to the invite list. They're always going to stay on the follow-up list. So let's say Mary Lee is like, actually, I'm not ready right now. I don't think I'll be ready for a couple of months. Then what I would do, I would take February, and I would go in here and I would go like 2 months out, and I would say like April 8th. So when I go into my Asana on April 8th, Mary Lee's name will pop up. If you want to add any information here in the description, any notes about the person, anything that she may have told you that would be important information that would, help you remember your conversation, you can do that. You also have the ability to add tags in for each person. So you're only able to do that if you're doing it under your company projects, which is why I told you guys to do it in there. So let me go in there and show you what that would look like. So let's say I just added a new person. I'll do Angie again. Angie Lee. And I just started talking to her today, so she would be an invite because I haven't invited her yet. But let's say that Angie and I connected on Instagram. So I have a little IG. I can put Instagram, so I know that I connected with her there. Just something that you can do. You can also, if you sent them a video, if you sent them a link, you don't have to do these things. These are just things that are to help you remember who the person is and how you connected, but it's definitely not required. So one more tip, if you click the check mark, the person will delete forever, so don't ever do that. Like when you message the person, don't click the check mark. What you're going to do is just change the due date. So if I invited her today, let's say, I would follow up with her in 2 days, and since I invited her, I'd put her on my follow-up list. So she would always appear on there. So that is how you use Asana. That's how I use Asana. There are other things that I have on mine that if you would like to add, I do have like a daily to-do list. I have things that I do daily. I have things that I do weekly. But the main thing is when you're coming in here to do your work, you're going to click on My Tasks, and you're going to see everything. Like everything's on here. I know I have a bunch of different other things that aren't on there, but you would click Change View and sort by due date, and then just go down the list and do all of your things. So it's now 9 o'clock, so I'm done with all of my work. That's why today I only have to meal plan and grocery list and clean my inbox. But all of these things tomorrow, when I log in, it'll say today, and I'll know that these are the people I'm following up with, these are the people I'm inviting, and all of those things. So I hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions, be sure to ask your coach.